All right. So I had just uploaded a couple videos the other day. I think I still have one that's on its way up. But I had asked the question of my viewers if you wanted me to read Tory's driver and bodyguard Quan. And a few of you in the comments said that, you would be interested in this reading, and you pretty much had the same concern that I had about why wasn't he allowed to go on the stand and testify, because he was actually there. He not only was an eyewitness, but he was a part of the incident, even if it was just to, break everything up and do his job. So I figured, I got a little downtime today. I would tap into the energy around Jaquan at that time and see what was energetically around him the day that all of this, went downhill and downhill bad. So without any further ado, I'm going to read the spiritual energy around Jaquan, better known to everyone as Quan, to find out what was, you know, what loosely was his involvement, and tap into what he possibly could have said if he had testified. So without any further ado, let me see. What cards am I going to use? I've never used these before, so my DC Tarot deck. I mean, why not? He's a bodyguard, and please believe it, out there that night he had to be some type of a superhero to break that so-called fight, non-fight, whatever they want to call it up, where people claim they just bumped into each other. Go ahead and cleanse my cards. Alrighty. Take me back to the night that Jaquan was taking Megan, Kelsey, and Tory home from Kylie Jenner's house. Tap me into the energy around what happened that night from Quan's vantage point. First card out, Strength. So this is him just trying to hold everything together. And like I said, he had to be some kind of superhero to get everybody out of this situation. The Hermit. He definitely went in the hermit mode after this happened and decided to stay out the way. I don't think anybody that was involved in this expected this to turn into this full throttle. This was supposed to be something that was embarrassing. It was supposed to be something that everybody in their own way kept their mouth shut about until further notice, because this was going to affect everybody that night. Okay, so we got Ten of Swords and the King of Cups. Okay, so let me adjust this camera angle. There we go. So Ten of Swords and the King of Cups. So being that, strength, this is somebody who's trying to keep it together because he felt like there was a lot of negative energy going on. Somebody had literally did some op type activity. This is a feeling of ultimate betrayal. And he's getting the King of Cups. This is not somebody that is a man of many words about this situation, but he deeply feels some type of way, whether he says something about it or not, because the King of Cups doesn't wear their feelings on their sleeve. King of Cups is somebody who will feel something immensely, but keep it to themselves. Knight of Swords. Okay, so Knight of Swords is somebody coming in swiftly with communication. What was this communication about? Now, let's go back and let's remember, before all this happened, Quan was supposed to drop Megan and Kelsey off to the house without Tory. He was going to drop them off to the house, come back to his employer, which was Tory Lanez. So let's talk about what this communication was. Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, Justice, the Hangman, Death. Okay, so 3 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Hold on. 3 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That's an opportunity coming in. Somebody was trying to be on their solo dolo so that they can get this opportunity coming in. They want to get something cracking. So, you know, the Wheel of Fortune. So what that tells me is, this is why Tory told him to take them home, drop them off, because there was an opportunity that was going to come out of this situation that was going to balance, you know, all scales for him. And I feel like in such a petty way, but still. But there ended up being a hangman, okay, to things being balanced out in Tory's behalf, and it brought everything to an end, death. And what it brought to an end was this 3 of Wands, this opportunity, the ships coming in. So whatever it was that Tory felt like he wanted to talk about or conduct, he wanted Megan out the way to do so. And this feels more so like he wanted to chop it up, get more personal with Kylie. Whatever it was, he felt like, okay, well, let me get them out the way, because I'm hearing the word intrusive. Something about Megan's behavior, something about what she was saying or doing felt intrusive. So for him to communicate better and get to where he needed to get to, he wanted to remove Megan from the situation so that this opportunity could come in, because this is the ships coming in, right? 3 of Wands. So that explains why he wanted to send her home. More so, it feels like either way it goes, Kelsey was just, it was like she was collateral damage either way this went. It's like y'all came together, you know, just, you know, they both going to the same spot, take them home, you know, get them home safe, and, you know, you can come back. So tell me more about after he sent them home through Quan. What was the energy after that? 2 of Swords. Somebody was getting cut off. Why was somebody getting cut off? Okay. 3 of Swords and Temperance. Somebody was heartbroken, wanted balance through a new beginning, or wanted balance through, how do I say this? Because this goes back to feeling like somebody was in the way. And it keeps coming out to me every time I go back to the energy of this night surrounding this moment. It's weird to me how Megan allegedly appears to be so in her feelings. even though she's not the one who was supposed to be actually dating Tory. The one who is actually dating Tory is Kelsey. But I never see that Kelsey's in her feelings about anything until what happens in the vehicle. So it feels like, allegedly, at this point in time, whatever was going on with Megan, whatever she was saying, whatever behavior she had that was intrusive, because that's the word I keep hearing, he had decided from this point on, it's like, nah, I'm straight on you, I'm good. And it feels like this, like I said, is explaining why he decided to just go ahead and get her home. So we need to touch more into this, because now that he's been given orders by Tory to get them home safe due to whatever the behavior was with Megan at the house. And let's remember, EJ in his testimony had stated that he had called Megan's manager, T. Ferris, to let him know that he felt like it was time for Megan to go because she was becoming abrasive. She was saying things to Kylie that could have been deemed as rude. And he just felt like it was a good idea for them to wrap it up and go, because this was not going in a good direction. So, mind you, this is hours before Tory gets there. This is hours before Tory gets there, because EJ decides to pack up and leave. Megan takes all of their belongings. This is all in EJ's testimony. Megan takes all of her and Kelsey's belongings and takes them out of EJ's vehicle and transports them into another vehicle, which I believe was Tory's vehicle. So that's interesting, because that shows that they had two different opportunities that night to get home in a non-confrontational way. So let's get past that. Now that they're on their way home, what is the energy around this car ride to the house with Kelsey, Megan, and Quan? Knight of Pentacles. So things were moving quite slow, falling up under the strength. So this strength is also, I get now with this trying to hold it together. This feels like this whole situation was trying on Quan's nerves, and he was just trying to get them from point A to point B, because somebody's behavior was, on 10, doing the most, allegedly. So he was just holding it together, doing what he was requested to do by his employer. But Knight of Pentacles means that this was a slow, arduous journey. It almost feels like there was procrastination. It took a while for people to get themselves together to even get in position to get to where they needed to get to. So even though he was told to take them home, it possibly took a while to corral everybody to get them to where they needed to go. So it feels like he's keeping his game face on, but he's agitated. Two of Wands. A choice had to be made about what? Nine of Swords. This feels like, allegedly, Quan was kind of iffy about even being involved in taking them home in the first place, because Nine of Swords is anxiety, or having a heightened sense of adrenaline, possibly. It's like he, in his spirit, You know, some people say vibes, some people say, you know, first mind. Something told him that this wasn't, you know, a good look in some type of way. He felt like something, how do I say this? He felt like nothing good could come out of this, but he didn't know where this situation was going. He just didn't like the vibe of it, because this is falling under the Ten of Swords and the King of Cups. And after this situation, to have the Nine of Swords under that Ten of Swords and the King of Cups, after all of this happened, this caused him a lot of anxiety, because that's like restless nights, that's worrying. It's like, man, come on now, what the fuck? This is definitely somebody trying to figure out, how in the world did this turn into this Ten of Swords, this ultimate betrayal? Tell me more about this ride without Tory. Because let's remember, Quan took them and he was taking them home, and then Megan decided to double back because she said that she had left her her slides, her designer flip-flops. Okay, Queen of Pentacles, Two of Wands. So Queen of Pentacles, Two of Wands. That's a decision having to be made. And she made a grounded, concerted effort to make a decision. Seven of Cups. Considering her options. This is also under the influence, allegedly. So that tequila was telling her, you know, like, you know, angel on one shoulder, devil on the other, that you need to make a decision to double back. So now that they're doubling back, what's the energy in this vehicle around Quan and these two women? Page of Swords. So he's just really just peeping the scene. He's watching everything. He's concerned about keeping things in perspective, keeping things calm, cool, and collected, because he knows that, you know, these are high profile people. These are people that everyone watches, right? Nine of Pentacles in the Sun. Independent woman in the Sun. So something became obvious to Quan on this ride, because the Sun is not just about happier times, it's about illumination. And when you illuminate things, they become more clear to you. Nine of Pentacles, independent woman. So it became very clear to him by just watching, you know, everything that's going around, because like I said, I don't feel like this is a man of many words. Even if he engages to a certain extent. He doesn't say much. He watches twice as much, you know. He's one of those that watches twice as much as he speaks, if that makes sense. Even if he engages with you, he engages to a minimum, but he studies and he's always scanning and watching, which is why he's good at what he does with security. Ten of Cups. Falling under the Two of Swords. So when it's all said and done, it's like he felt like he was being put in a position to be separated from a situation that was very good for him, fruitful for him, after all of this is said and done. Ten of Cups, definitely worried about how this would affect him and the people that are close to him. Seven of Cups is falling under Strength, and the Knight of Pentacles. So like I said, he was trying to hold it together, keep his composure, because Seven of Cups is not just about, considering your options. It's a cup of it's the card for libations. So he knows that everybody involved in this situation is under the influence. And this is part of the reason why he's so agitated, because he's dealing with people who, because they are allegedly so inebriated, they are already not in their right mind. But he's still picking up on the energy around these people in this situation. And it's interesting enough, because it's like he can only insert himself so much, he can only say so much, because he's an employee. He can't get involved to a certain extent on the personal level of the foolishness. And see, we got to realize, like, him being the driver in security, there's no telling what he sees, and he always has to keep his mouth shut, stay out the mix, and do his job. So he's probably seen crazy stuff, here and there. No big deal. You keep your mouth shut, you do your job. This isn't the first time he's seen something that was a little ratchet. But he's watching this whole entire time, and he's not liking the vibe. So now that she's made this decision to tell him, we're going to go back. What's the energy? Come on. He didn't want to talk. Oh, okay. Listen. 5 of Wands. Y'all know when I pull out the 5 of Wands, this is laying them hand and feet, honey. This is physicality. This is fighting, allegedly. So this fight that nobody wants to talk about, that everybody wants to pretend like never happened, is what he figures is the ultimate betrayal. He is deep in his feelings about this, because it's pretty much changed everybody's life, not just Tory and Megan. And he loses, some nights he loses sleep on this, and he still to this day has anxiety over this, because of how this has affected everybody involved. So on the way back, this feels like combustible energy. Tell me more about that. Why does this feel combustible? He realizes what this is all about. Ace of Wands. Tarot, you know what the Ace of Wands is. This is that big D energy, right? He realizes that this is cock blocking, because this falls under the Queen of Pentacles, the 2 of Wands. And then you got all these cards up here, where you got the Hangman to this opportunity and bringing this opportunity to an end. So it's like the opportunity, pretty much was deadpan when they came back the second time. And what this feels like to me, because this is all allegedly, this is tarot. I can't say nothing is nothing. We can't prove nothing. But y'all, my other readings, people always come back to me and put down below where I'm spot on. But I digress. What this is showing me, going across this way, and we're only, halfway through, 7 of Cups, inebriation, 5 of Wands, fighting, Ace of Wands over that big D energy. So, baby. So, allegedly, when they went back and he was forced to go back under the guise of, we're going back to get these shoes, these slides, these flip-flops, right? I left my shoes. He quickly realized that this had nothing to do with shoes. This was cock blocking. This was all over that D, okay? And there was some kind of altercation when they went back the second time, that felt aggressive. Now, let's remember, it came out later that Kylie Jenner had thrown Megan out of the house when they came back to get Tory. The reports never said that she threw Megan and Tory out the house. It was she threw Megan out the house. So turned up on this tequila, was it 1492? Turned up on this tequila. You come in here, five of wands, aggressive, possibly threatening, people's well-being, allegedly, because you were cock blocking. Hierophant at the bottom of the deck is judge, jury, adjudicator. Okay, so it's a possibility that somebody had made the reference to either get out or I'm gonna call the police, allegedly. We really need to know what happened in that house when they went back that second time, because it feels like the physical energy already was turned up at this point. And it feels like it was more than just arguing. It could have been, if not putting hands on somebody, breaking things or threatening to put hands on someone. But it was all over cock blocking, Ace of Wands. Seven of Pentacles. So, hold on. So, wait a minute. We got two cards here. We're almost stuck. Seven of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles. So, this is showing, right here for me, what Tory had planned to do. Tory was trying to sow seeds for a bigger harvest. That's Seven of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles is work. So him and Kylie were supposed to be working together. That's what this was. Okay. It feels like that's what they were trying to discuss, was business, collaborating. So it's quite interesting. She came in jealous, cock blocking, trying to keep them from hooking up. But it seems like what the hookup was business. This was about money, getting to the money, cross marketing, cross branding. And looking at the signal that is coming off of this ring, that's like radio waves and signals. So that could have had something to do with Tory's quarantine radio, but they were definitely supposed to be cross marketing, working together, because Eight of Pentacles is actual working. So it's like Seven of Pentacles is laying the groundwork. Eight of Pentacles is actually working together. And when you actually work together, the Eight of Pentacles brings abundance. It brings checks, because as you're working, you get paid. So this was Tory's reason for sending Megan home, Megan and Kelsey home, so that he could stay behind. Now, I'm not going to say it wasn't no flirting here and there. Everybody was turned. Everybody was feeling a little, a little saucy, a little good. But this was the bread and butter of the energy between him and Kylie. They were trying to work. We're talking about, if I'm not mistaken, Kylie's a Leo as well. So we're talking about two Leos. Two Leos get together and grind, honey. They're going to make it happen, and they're going to make money. Whatever they were supposed to do was going to make money. And we're talking about big money. Because Kylie Jenner ain't about to play around with a couple of pennies here and there. She can live off the interest of her money and be just fine. She don't need, the drama to make her make money, even though that's what the family, money started from. The drama from the sisters tape with Ray J, and then, reality TV. Her empire, unlike her sisters, does not have to have something messy happened for the jump off for her family wealth. She built hers in a different way. So, like I said, two Leos coming together, they were about to do something major. This feels like going into a contract some kind of way. And it was going to reap a major harvest. So, boom. Now we are back to where Megan enters the home for, allegedly coming back for a flip flop. Because if I'm not mistaken, she left a shoe behind, which is kind of weird because it's like, if Tory is still there, why didn't you text him and say, hey, I left one of my slides. Can you do me a favor and grab it for me and I'll just get it from you later? Like, it, to me, that's what I would have done. I'm already on my way home. I mean, it's a slide. You can buy several more pairs, right? But let's go. So now that Megan has walked back into the house and broke up this business meeting, the Chariot, forward movement, Two of Swords, Ten of Cups. So it's a possibility that it was other family that was there, or people who were considered like friends and family, who were telling Kylie to just cut this situation off, move forward. And also, being that this is the Flash, this is how Megan came back up in the house. This is how Megan came back up in that house. And we got Six of Wands to the Hierophant peeking out of the deck. So she flew back up in there. Y'all excuse me. I wish you could see the visual that I'm seeing. She flew back up in there. I mean, imagine, when you your mama say go to your room and you slam the door and that door fly open and you look up like, wait a damn minute. Like how'd you get up in here so quick? This is the energy of how it feels, how she came back up in there, because mind you, nobody expected her to come back to the house or into the house. So I got a feeling that Quan didn't even let Tori know that Megan was coming back, because she kept this she kept this demeanor that, oh no, I gotta go get my shoe. I left my shoe. And then it started to appear to Quan that something else going on here. But it still wasn't to the point to where he felt like, well, you stay seated. I'm gonna go in here and go get the shoe, right? It's like, okay, well, go get your shoe, I'm gonna take y'all home. So if the way this allegedly feels to me is that Kelsey and Quan were both shocked. Like, damn, what the hell happened in there? Like, you just went in there to go get your shoes. How did y'all both come out? Pretty much being ejected from the house. Well, this is how they came out being ejected from the house. She flew up in there like the Flash, ready to charge. It was like, come on, you need to go. We need to go. We need to go, right? That is such hater activity. Then you got the Six of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That's forward movement and expansion, like moving on towards victory, right? Being successful to get him out of this house, to make him leave. That's just a wow moment, because you have to remember that the one that he was openly, outwardly dating was Kelsey. Kelsey's not the one dragging him out the house or forcing him out the house and making a scene. Megan is the one who forgot, when they on the field, keep it on the sideline. She forgot to read the side chick's manual. When you are in public, this is the way you behave. She, from what I can see energetically, allegedly, she totally got in her feelings, as if she was checking her man. Like, this was her dude and he was out of line. While the chick that he was actually outwardly dating was outside, you know, mum's the word, completely oblivious to all of this that's happening in the house. Could y'all imagine just sitting back watching this unfold if you were Quan? Because mind you, Quan is, security and his driver. So, Quan knows the secrets of what's going on with whom and where, because it's part of his job being on the staff to keep his mouth shut, stay out the way, say nothing, and just do his job. So he knew somehow, some way, what was going on. But everybody, it's like everybody but Kelsey knew what was happening in this situation. She's the only one that had no idea what was actually transpiring until these two come flying up out of Kylie Jenner's house. So now I'm understanding why Tory is so agitated, why he's so angry, why he feels like he has to get even with Megan. I'm understanding why he went so hard with telling what he told in the truck, because Megan came in the house and ruined what could have been a multi-million-dollar deal between him and Kylie. They were talking about structuring business. This was going to be great for him, for his marketing, for business. This was going to literally take him over the top and put him in, the winning circle. Now, I don't know if they were going to do an episode of Quarantine Radio from Kylie's house, or, how they were going to do this. And then he was going to teach her how to blog, and then she was going to start her own radio thing. But this was going to be major. And Megan allegedly came in like a bull in a china shop. Can't even talk. Came in like a bull in a china shop and wrecked the whole thing. And then they get outside, and here's Kelsey, unbeknownst to her, sitting here, because everybody's turned. Everybody has been, drinking and consuming. So, she's possibly sitting out here like, okay, come on, so I can go lay down. Because, you ride around for a while, you're not driving, you possibly fall asleep. You wake up home like, oh, okay, we're here. So she don't know what the heck is going on. I mean, I'll say she had a funny feeling like, the hell is, what the hell are you so mad about? But not this. It more so feels like the energy of, there she goes again. Like, how you have that friend, you go out drinking and they get to a certain limit and it's like, oh, we gotta go. It just felt like another one of those situations. Didn't feel like it was anything personal like what this turned into. It just felt like, yeah, you done had a bit too much. Yeah, well, it's time to go. So now, now that we are getting thrown out the house, energy around Jaquan. Tell me about the ride now that Tory is in the truck. Now, let's remember the seating chart of how this is on the police report and how this came out in court. Quan is driving. Megan is in the passenger seat. Tory is sitting behind Megan. Kelsey is sitting behind Quan. This is to put it all in perspective. So now that they're riding and they're supposed to be going to drop the women off, because they were going to drop the women off and he was going to take Tory to his home. Let's tap into that energy on this ride. Matter of fact, nope, I'm going to leave this down here, because if I need to clarify, I'll get another deck and clarify. yeah. Five of Cups, that is deep regret. Six of Cups for things or people from the past. So this is where the other shoe drops, okay? Five of Cups, like I said, deep agony, deep regret. Six of Cups, this is person that you dealt with from the past. This is situations that you dealt with from the past. So this is showing that in this moment, because this falls on top of that Seven of Cups, which is the card of not just choices, multiple decisions need to be made. This is being inebriated. So falling on top of, this card of being inebriated, we're starting to see that Tory is in deep regret that he ever dealt with Megan, that him and her even had this exchange in the past, because he's quickly realizing that him not thinking straight, he should have had more discretion, he should have exercised more restraint, because all of this is coming back to bite him in the ass. It's blowing up in his face. And all of this, it's like Quan saw this bubbling. Because like I said before, Kelsey is the only one in this whole situation energetically that feels like she is none the wiser about what's about to, boil over. So, ooh, yeah, I could see why Quan was agitated, because this was a situation. It's like, okay, let's just hurry up and get them home. Let's hurry up and get everybody where they need to go before this goes, in an ugly situation. So, yeah, this was definitely tense. Page of Pentacles. This is energetically a card of apology. So he hasn't spoken publicly, or not that I know of. If he has done an interview, somebody let me know. If you can, put the link below so I can go back and watch it. But it feels apologetic for how all of this turned out. Um, it almost feels like, allegedly, he feels guilty about this betrayal, and this gives him pause. This, is something that rides heavy, rides deep on his mind, that, all of this came out of this fight, because he mills over, if he had done this differently, if he had of, just took them home and said, you know what, I'll just have Tory to bring you your shoes later. Like, if he had never brought them back to the house, this wouldn't have happened. But to be honest, in the mindset that Megan was in that evening, I feel like he doesn't need to blame himself, because she could have possibly gotten to the house and had her driver to bring her back, or caught a lift back to the house. Allegedly, what I'm getting energetically is that Megan was determined to get back to that house one way or the other. So if he took her back to the house, her and Kelsey back to wherever she was staying, it's a strong possibility that Megan would have still found a way to get back to Kylie's house, because she felt like she needed to do what she had to do to cock block this situation. She was totally in her feelings. So had he have taken her home and went back to Tory, chances are she would have still came back and been enraged, and it still would have been an incident. It just would have happened at Kylie's house and not out in the street, allegedly. So if he's still feeling some type of way about how all of this transpired, and feeling like, I was slipping if I did this and if I did that, I want him to know that it's no way he could have assumed that ratchet and alcohol would have turned into this. This was something that most people would have never thought would have turned into this, because who would have known that they had this loaded firearm in the vehicle in the first place? It's one thing for two females to get into a knockout drag out brawl. It's another thing for one to pull out a weapon. That was a huge factor that nobody saw coming. So this feels like, let me go back because I feel like I'm talking a bit much. This is going back to right before the argument. Take me into the energy around the argument. Okay, so we have the Four of Wands falling on top of the Five of Wands, fighting over that. This is weird because Four of Wands is like engagement, marriage, stability in a home life and relationship. So it's like y'all bickering, going back and forth like, an old married couple. This is the way it feels like. Before it even went that far, it was like it was hard to tell who was involved with who was in a relationship, because the way that she's arguing with him as if this is her man. And this is what energetically it feels like Quan was witnessing. And the Fool, it was like a leap of faith, like this was instantaneous. Nobody had time to recalibrate and look at the situation and assess what it was. It was like everybody just had that, what the hell is going on? Like, why are you coming at him like this is your dude? It felt petty, it felt foolish, but it was literally like the blink of an eye. It was a turn up that just felt really emotionally charged. And it was more than just, oh, okay, you just drinking. Like I said, he realized he had an epiphany. It dawned on him that this was over this Ace of Wands. This I feel for Kelsey more and more when I do these readings, because it's like up until a certain point, up until Tory says what he says, she really was totally in the dark. Now, she wasn't in the dark to the type of things that Megan is capable of doing, because as she said, Megan has done certain things to her before in the past, but she was in the dark about what had happened, what had transpired in this situation. So remember I said the energy of apology, Ace of Pentacles. We got the Page of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Three of Pentacles. Listen, this is apologizing, because we're going off into the energy of the argument, falling over the Ace of Wands, the big D energy. So we're apologizing over, this situation, because Ace of Pentacles is solid. That's something that pays off. So it's like he felt like the solid one, this is Tory, he felt like the solid one out of the two was Kelsey. And here it is. I'm apologizing for juggling you. This is when that other shoe drops, when she finds out in the moment, in real time, what this bickering and arguing was really about. Three of Pentacles. Okay, this is going into a negotiation agreement or a union with all three parties, third party energy. So he's apologizing for gambling with, gambling their relationship by juggling her and her friend and being involved with all parties at the same time. Him, her, and her friend. You know, me, you, and Mrs. Jones. So now that this has hit the fan, it's kind of weird because it seems like this, like I said, this happened swiftly. This wasn't a long, drawn out thing. I don't know how long this ride was from point A to point B, but this wasn't a long ride. It just felt long because there was a lot of stuff that happened. The magician, the empress, and the emperor. Hold on. Oh, the high priestess. Yeah. Okay. So when you got the magician to the high priestess, that's a lot of trickery, manipulation, and hiding things. The empress and the emperor. So empress and the emperor is like the most solid couple in the deck next to the high priestess and the hierophant. Okay. So he saw potential between, we're talking about Tory. He saw potential between him and Kelsey. She was somebody that he really wanted to get to know. He thought that they could have a solid thing, even though this was in the early stages. But there was a lot of trickery, a lot of manipulation, a lot of things that were hidden. Okay. And also, this is falling over the Seven of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. He thought that him and Kylie literally could take over the airwaves. Like this was going to be huge if they got together, worked this out, made this plan, and did this all in secret, and then boom, dropped this on the industry. This was going to break the internet. They were literally going to manipulate all airwaves, and this was going to be huge. Like I said, this was going to be a major ship coming in for Tory. So it's like all of this goes out the window. Yet again, like I said, once they got thrown out the house, well, once Megan got thrown out the house and Tory just said, let's go. And then this argument occurs. They have this three-way argument. He lets the cat out the bag to Kelsey. He apologizes to Kelsey for juggling her with Megan, lets her know what's going on. Now, here's where everything takes a left. Show me the energy around Quan as everything takes a left now that this information is out. Hold on. Ship coming in turns to heartbreak. So it's like, I don't even mean to laugh, but damn, this is like the worst day at work ever. Like, this was a gravy job. Everything was cool. He liked working with this employer, and then boom, it's like, damn, now I know this job is a wrap. Like, after tonight, I probably don't have a job. This is crazy. Like, what's gonna come out of this? Because it's, I mean, literally, it's like things are happening so fast that it's hard to react to one thing before the next thing happens. And there it is. Before it was all said and done, the Hierophant, like I said, judge, jury, adjudicator, law enforcement, the lovers. Due to what happened between the lovers, here comes the law. This all happened swiftly. And then we got, what is this? The Four of Pentacles. Just trying to get everybody to a place where, you know, you can get everybody stable, get everybody, you know, out of the way, because we have to protect everybody. Notice it's 4 people in the vehicle. We have to protect everybody's best interest because this affects everybody's money, right? So it's like before he was doing his best to get everybody out the way so that they wouldn't attract the police. And before he could get everybody out of the way, it was already too late. Okay? See this? Four of Swords falling over the Four of Wands. Everything came to a rest. Over this love and abundance situation. Everything came to a rest. Collaborations working. Okay, so Six of Pentacles to Five of Pentacles. It's like this was easy money. He felt like this job was cool. It was like, you know, he was making a significant amount of money, and it was like taking candy from a baby. He really didn't have to do much to earn the income that he had, and then out of nowhere, boom, out of work. Everybody had to lay low. Ace of Swords at the bottom of the deck. That is a clarifier for truth. So, you know, funny how everybody looks at how this affected Meg and Tory, but it's like everybody's money dried up after this situation, because we got to remember Kelsey lost her job. She had to move. She was casted out. She got, you know, pretty much, you know, sent off somewhere. Jaquan had to lay low after all of this happened. So it's like it's not that Tory fired him, but it's like after all of this happened, he had to get to a point to where he separated himself, because nobody wanted a part of the end result of what happened. So this affected everybody's money. This put everybody in a negative space, financially and mentally. Page of Wands. Yeah, new action coming after all of this manipulative, sneaky energy that brought heartbreak. The Sun falls over the Three of Wands. So it's like now everything has been illuminated through this harsh communication. Five of Swords. After this argument, things went like 0 to 100 with the, you know, the snap of a finger, the blink of an eye. Page of Cups. See how heartbreak keeps coming out at the bottom of the deck, and I'm shuffling? Page of Cups falling over this. It's like all of this over this petty communication, because Page of Cups is like breadcrumbing. So to have this fall over the Hierophant, this is like, you know, when they said everybody wasn't cooperating, you know, the witnesses weren't cooperating with the police. This is showing that everybody just figured if we stay quiet, you know, what can they do? Because either way it went, three people, heartbreak, three different swords. They were all in a position to where it's like, I can't believe this happened. Eight of Swords. And boom, just like that, locked up. But everybody had unilaterally decided, we go to jail, keep your mouth shut, don't say nothing until this blows over. Four of Swords, till this comes to a rest, because we have to protect our stability. Four of Pentacles. Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups. Now, I've gotten this before, and this is showing me that it was Megan who offered to go into this situation with Tory. She allegedly, energetically, this is what I'm getting, she pursued Tory. So had she not have pursued Tory, these two wouldn't have hooked up. Now, don't get me wrong. He could have just said no. He could have exercised some restraint, turned her down, was like, look, I'm messing with your homegirl. That's real shady. He didn't have to take her up on her offer at all. But it's a lot of dudes out here that wouldn't have turned her down because look at her. But because he didn't, exercise that restraint, all of this, when it came down to it, blew up in everybody's face and he faced judgment. Somehow, some way, everybody that was in that truck faced judgment. And the judgment was over the secrets that transpired that night. See this big old moon? Okay? The moon is always secrets because you never see the moon in its full entirety. The moon shows you what it wants you to see. If you see a full moon, just know that there's a whole nother side to that moon you can't see. So the new actions and activities, didn't even realize I was Catwoman on this card until I put this down. Y'all remember the body video with Megan where she had on an outfit like this? So this is everybody trying to keep a secret to cover up whatever happened. There's still something that has not come out yet that all three of them are keeping quiet on. And it involves Megan. And it's damaging, heartbreak. Now, we know everybody involved in this case has lied about something somehow, some way. We have not heard Quan's side of this at all. So, all due respect, if he had lied about something or omitted something, it was to the police. It wasn't to us because we, the public, have been waiting to hear his testimony. But there's something major that's still not being said about what happened, and it has to do with Megan. And if you've been following my readings with Tory and Megan, even though she's an air sign, when the Queen of Wands comes out, it is a significant, why can't I talk? Oh my gosh, I'm tired, y'all. It's a signifier. There we go. One of those public school words was going to work. It's a signifier of, hot girl Meg, because the Queen of Wands represents, the Queen of Fire. So that's the hot girl of the deck. So I just said that there is a major secret that all three of these people are still keeping that nobody has said. Everybody still mum's the word attached to Megan. And then here it is. The hot girl of the deck comes out. And there's the Knight of Wands. So Knight of Wands is someone that's very aggressive. And as you can see, ooh, my nose is itching. I almost feel like I'm about to sneeze. This person is coming full throttle, like almost looks like a cyclone, a tornado is forming behind them. So this may not have been the first time there was an incident where she kind of turned up on him or turned up in the presence of Quan. He's seen her in rare form before, just never like this. Tell me more about that. Heartbreak. So this is also a card of being stubborn. Four of Pentacles. He's heartbroken over the opportunities that are lost due to what happened, but he feels like Tory was being stubborn, ignoring, maybe the signs or the warnings, so to speak. He didn't take certain things that were said to him serious until it turned into heartbreak. Okay, so 9 of Cups. Wow, so the 9 of Cups to fall on top of the 8 of Swords. He allegedly, energetically feels like this was a wish fulfillment that was put into motion to have Tory locked up. A leap of faith, the Fool, and also just, foolish behavior, not really, acting in a way to where someone with maturity should behave. This was petty. This was childish. This is the energy that I'm getting over how he feels about this whole situation. It was very petty. It was very childish. Now, this Four of Pentacles finally comes out, and it falls on top of the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups. I keep telling y'all, Kelsey's not the one who was offered stability out of this situation. 9 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, independent woman. Kelsey's not the one who was offered stability. After this happened, someone became the independent woman. Now, I don't know where this fly came from in my house, but, and it literally flew and sat on top of my sage. This is crazy. Seven of Wands, being very defensive over this secret. Let me light this sage. I block all negative energy. I bind any spirits that will come before me that are unclean and unholy. Put a heavy hedge of protection around me and everyone who's watching this. Y'all, this fly did not show up until I started talking about Kelsey was not the one who was offered the bag that made her stable. Now you take that and do what you want with it. But pay attention. Pay close attention to how everything started to balance out. Six of Wands, and from that point on, it was forward movement into victory. Landing on top of the hot girl. King of Wands is at the bottom of the deck. We know Tory is the fire sign, so he would either fall under Strength or the King of Wands. Now, I could go deeper into that, but I'm going to lay that down and y'all pick that up how y'all need to. This situation brought balance through a new beginning. Temperance. Laying on top of Strength. See, right now, Tory is fighting for balance through a new beginning, through a new trial. And I just said the significators for Tory will be the King of Wands and Strength. That balance is falling on top of Strength. But he's facing a lot of toxic, chaotic energy. the devil. And this is the truth. All because of who? The air sign, the Queen of Swords. And this falls on top of the Ten of Swords, the King of Cups, and the Nine of Swords. Bottom of the deck, not bottom of the deck. Bottom of this row of cards, upright, is Nine of Cups, wish fulfillment. Now, y'all see I've been shuffling. Here it is. King of Wands. Bottom of the deck again. They're not going to say that this was a wish fulfillment for this to happen to Tory. But I will say this. You do not have to perish physically to be considered a worthy sacrifice. Now, he put himself in harm's way by, just not, making the best decisions, being so happy-go-lucky about certain dealings, okay? Not taking certain warnings and things that were happening serious. And then by the time he realized that this was serious, it was way too late, because there was a whole rollout with a plan and a mission that had been placed into action. And it's kind of, no, I ain't gonna say it's kind of, it's really hard to go against the machine when they have groups of people on payroll who are placed into position for situations like this. They have marketing departments. They do, you know, what was that show that was out like early 2000s? I want to think, what was it? Spin City. That whole show was about having a PR team that could spin situations into more favorable situations for the mayor of, was it New York City? So this was like, no matter what happened, right, wrong, and indifferent, no matter who was right, who was wrong, he didn't have the marketing department to handle what was about to happen with the spin of this situation. Yeah, Nine of Pentacles. Independent woman. Ten of Pentacles. Receives the ultimate bag that's being leveled up. King of Swords. That's coming in with a message. After harsh communication. So they immediately did what they were supposed to do. This is what happens when you have a team. The team gets together, they have think tanks, they figure out who's going to do what, who's going to be in what position. This is what you say, this is what you don't say, this is what we're going to do. I can't make this up. King of Wands, which we know would be Tory, and the Tower. It was the beginning of the end. Six of Swords to the Seven of Swords. The Fool. this situation that came out of nowhere, which was a very foolish, childish situation, ended up being the vehicle to move forward, to set things into motion behind the scenes that caused the tower for Tory Lanez. And I'm going to end this here. The Star and the Tower. Star is the card of Aquarius. Tower is the beginning of the end. This is where the beginning of the end came for Tory, and his tower began to crumble. So this is my energetic tap in on the energy around Jaquan, better known as Quan. Very interesting. Talk about worst day at work ever. This is very intriguing to me because it's like he was just trying to get everybody where they needed to be so that nobody ended up in a situation to where he was going to lose his job if they ended up in the blogs. But they couldn't get out of the way fast enough. And he had no idea that when he took Megan back to the house that this combustible situation was going to occur. You know, he knew that everybody was lit, but still in all, it's like, who expects something like this? I just took you back to go get your shoes, and I was going to drop you off, and all hell breaks loose from that moment until everybody went to jail. So thank you for everybody who said that you wanted to hear this energetic tap in on Quan. I think when I'm done with this, I should do a tap in on EJ. I mean, at this point, why not? Thank you so much for your viewership. Thank you for supporting me and my channel. And this video has already been long enough, so this reading is adjourned. I'll see y'all next time.